Hey fans of M&A, thanks for tuning in to another episode of M&A Sports Radio. And if you haven't already, please hit subscribe on your favorite podcast app.
Football season is back, and that is where you can find all of our shows, sit-downs, mailbags, and Survivor Pool locks. It's going to be a great season on M&A Sports Radio.
That's right, Survivor Pool Locks is back for the NFL season. AJ Nicoletti, Mike Moose O'Brien, you guys from M&A Sports Radio. We'll give you our two locks for the week, and we'll also mention some other teams that should help you get by and advance in your weekly Survivor Pool. Moose, who you got up first?
Interesting. We kind of flip-flop, went back and forth on this on the show a little bit. I know you're really high on Jacksonville. We both think they could knock off the Packers. I just think the Packers have a lot of
Too much
depth and talent coming back to the team here. So I think the Packers are definitely a team you'll look at to win here in Jacksonville, regardless of the environment. Week one, going to be a tough place to play. I just think Rodgers and the Pack are too much right now. The second team I'm rolling with is the Indianapolis Colts. Colts at home against Detroit. Detroit just they're in trouble. They need a lot of help in a lot of places.
I agree.
That's the only way to say it nicely. You look at the Colts getting Andrew Luck back, a team that things couldn't have gone worse than they did last year for the Colts.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of disappointments. Can they run the football? Can they protect Andrew Luck? They have
All
some
question
receivers.
marks. It
It just seems like they've done a poor job drafting offensive linemen. They've never really figured it out and trying to protect Luck. We know they have weapons. That defense can get better. They can make some plays on defense. It's going to be very important. But I think week one for this game, I think Indianapolis rolls. This would be my mortal lock of the week. What about you, AJ?
I have two as well. I think Houston beats the Bears convincingly. I think I said it on the show. I don't think they're going to run away with it, but they're going to have an arm's length lead and then close them out in the fourth quarter. I don't think the Bears are that good, and I don't think Houston's that good, to be honest with you. But Houston's at home, a lot of expectation. I expect them to win that game. Not a ton of games. Week one's really tough in the sense that they put a lot of good teams on the road, where you think you're going to pick them, but you don't really like taking road teams in these survivor pools. Well, with buybacks you can, but you don't really want to use that buyback week one. That's a tough way to go out. That being said, I like Houston, and then I really like Seattle at home against Miami. I think this is an easy one. I think the only question is Seattle by how much. And I'm not trying to knock the Dolphins, but they got to go across the country. And the Dolphins are not that good of a football team. And Seattle is primed for another Super Bowl run if they can get out of the NFC West, to say the least. If they can get out of that division with a first-round bye, they're going to be a tough out going up there in the playoffs. So I think it starts this week with Seattle. I think they have to set the tone. And I think that them being at home, 1, 2, playing a team that they should dominate, and 3, they got a chip on their shoulder, no question, after losing and getting beat by the Panthers last year. So I think it's going to be a great, not a great game, but I think it's going to be a very good game for the Seahawks.
Definitely. I think that's another one where you look at it. It's one of those games where they're going to roll.
You think anything else here? I think those are really only the
No,
four
I
locks.
think those-
It's a tough week. It's a really tough week.
A lot of 3-point or less spreads here.
Mm-hmm. And that's going to be the test. If you want to kind of take a flyer on a team, maybe you take a team like Kansas City if you don't think you're going to.
You feel like at home?
Exactly. If you're not going to use them later, and if you want to just get past week one. But San Diego's a live dog there, and I don't think they're that good of a team, but I just don't think Kansas City's that good.
No.
So
I don't
and then Oakland, New Orleans is a coin flip. Cleveland, Philly, you stay away from. Minnesota, Tennessee, you really kind of stay away from. That game could go either way. New England, Arizona, you don't pick. Pittsburgh on the road in Washington's interesting, but it's
Monday night in Washington.
Exactly.
Some weird things could happen.
Giants, Dallas, you're not going to touch. And
No.
then Carolina, Denver, you already had to have the pick in by now if you listen to this. So I think that's really 4 teams you can really go with. You go Indianapolis, Green Bay, Seattle, Houston. Moose, you're going with Green Bay as your lock, or Indy as your lock?
Indy's my lock.
Indy's the lock. Seattle's my lock. Using them right away. So that's week 1 of the Survivor Pool locks. Check it out all season long for help in your Survivor pools. We'll talk to you next week for week 2.
This is M&A Sports Radio. See you guys.